Big is back, and they came in with a bang on Nuke. They certainly done their homework, and it showed. They managed to close it out in style, and Tabson, he was pulling out all the shots, but it was Mad Lions. They couldn't quite hit theirs. They took way too long to get into Nuke, which should have been a comfortable pick for them. And now we'll be moving on to Vertigo, and it could be just an open book here, because we spoke about this before, that the Vertigo pick hadn't been in the decider means that there must have been something from Mad Lions in order for them to let it all the way through. But if they bring out another performance like this fit on Nuke, it's going to be a whole hell of a confusing time for everyone on the server.
You know what? That was a little bit disappointing by Mad Lions. I expected more. I think Mad Lions is usually a great nuke team, and I think Aiko in particular is one of the most interesting players in the entire world of Counter-Strike right now to watch. This game so far, he hasn't been doing much, right? He's sitting at 23 kills, 35 deaths, and only a single entry kill, right? That's not good enough if you're the AWP player for Mad Lions. He's not hitting anything today, so let's be honest about that. On the other side, you got Susan. He's playing some stellar Counter-Strike, 52 frags, really hitting his shot at the moment. And I think Big showed us right here what they can do if they're playing well. Shantaris had a decent performance here on Nuke as well, and all of them, as you said, James, turned up and hit their shots. A little bit disappointed about Mad Lions, disappointed about the T side. That was very lackluster. Didn't seem to be, that fulfilling in sense of as soon as they got shut down by Big, there was not a lot of stuff to offer from Mad Lions. And to me, that's disappointing, especially with all the practice time they had coming into this one.
Yeah, definitely so. And I thought, 5 rounds, it's not the best. Surely they would have hoped for 6, maybe 7 if they were lucky. But 5 rounds, generally speaking, it is enough. And I have to disagree. I thought that Mad Lions brought a decent enough T side on their nuke. But Big, their reactions, it was amazing. I think the one weakness on the Big City side of things was they didn't have an answer for that under ladder. You saw that they were consistently, proactively retaking that lobby, retaking outside with the right amount of aggression. But Xantares, once again, towards that under ladder, he was struggling. And so that's how Lions were able to rally up those last 2 or 3 rounds of the half. But man, their CT side of things, starting off with that pistol, it seems like Lions, I gotta say, it's once again the rustiness, the maybe, dare I say, laziness within these rounds, sometimes overconfidence, because once again, 5 rounds on T side, it should be enough because their defensive side on Nuke, it's strong.
I just felt like they weren't adapting too much to what Big was throwing at them on a regular basis. And there's certainly when it comes to Vertigo, it's a bit of an unknown for us though, for Mad Lions, right? Big have played it. It's something that they will actively play, so they should know their way around it. For Mad Lions, we're coming in with, okay, can you pull this off? Have you worked on something here? And I guess even in their minds right now, they're probably thinking, okay, Big showed us something that we didn't expect. Now we might need to be more concerned.
Yeah, exactly. And especially because it's Overpass that they decided to veto out and choose Vertigo instead, which is once again so surprising because Overpass, A-Core, opping, these things go hand in hand. So Vertigo, there's no excuses here. They better show up here and they better show us that they've got a huge game plan prepared because Big, they played Vertigo in their last 2 series and they've won them. So they're certainly prepared.
I'm on board with Christine here. If we don't see Aiko stepping up, then I don't think Mad Lions is going to win, right? It's going to be the first time they're going to play the map of Vertigo. So they'll have to show us that they've been putting in the practice, and Aiko will have to show us why he's one of the most interesting players to play or watch, at the moment. His AWP skills is fantastic, but he needs to show it now, Big style.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out in just a few moments, but it's time for us to hit the break once again. And then when we come back, it's Vertigo with Launders and Scrawny to take us through the action.
Big with a little spring in their step, showing us good promise there on Nuke. They close their opponent's map choice, which means, of course, these teams exchange choices and leave us on Vertigo. I hope you're not afraid of heights, Mohan, because this one should be full of fireworks.
I'm actually not. So I actually enjoy the thrill of nearly dying. I think it's pretty fun. I definitely do a lot of things in life where I feel like most people would be more risk averse. So Vertigo, I'm into the thrill. I like the fact that we're stuck 100 stories up and you could die at any minute. Wow, yeah, the odds have evened up. It's fair play, man. You know, one team looked good on one map, one team looked good on another map, and now Vertigo is a big question mark because Mad Lions, they removed Overpass to play this map. So we'll find out why they did that. This
And
episode
more
on DreamHack Masters.
Spring 2020, European region. Of course, we got a NA matchup coming up next. MIBR versus Chaos. Chaos, who has upset versus Liquid. You guys aren't going to want to go anywhere. Tell the wife and kids you're sticking here. It's Counter-Strike all day long.
Yeah, my wife's boyfriend knows all about the next match that's coming up. He's excited. I'm excited.
You gonna watch it together?
We're going to hold hands and watch it together.
Bastillion's gonna try spamming some smoke here. Looks to deny any short presence, but they actually plant over on the further corner. I like that. It costs him a lot of his health, but Tabson's still alive in the post plant. So a very fully armored Mad Lions here on the retake attempt. There is no kit in the mix. Bomb, a third of the way gone already. Still 2 flashbangs for Big, but Searson starts to throw those as Astillion leads the charge around short. It's a bloodbath and a great pinch. Down at the depths of the ramp, they'll find their last and hop on Bomb just in time. That's Mad Lions winning CT pistol.
Yeah. They pull it together. They pull off the retake. It's nice. It's fast. It's explosive. It's cohesive. It's all the great adjectives. So nice start from that Mad Lions. Pistol rounds. Both these teams look like good pistoling teams at times. I mean, Bubsky, Tabson. There's a lot of players that are going head to head. It seems here it's kind of more the periphery players that end up contributing the most. But every round now worth its weight in gold since we're into map 3, and it's such an unknown quantity. And I'm not sure how confident each team feels, but I'm sure they both have somewhat measured expectations and reservations, you know, just in case. And we saw the pace that Furia took on this map. It's not a pace that many teams will take. Certainly, there will be more retakes. There will be more slow-paced rounds, and there'll be more reactive play in a matchup like this.
Was playing matchmaking once and got faced versus Astillion here on Vertigo.
How'd it go?
Beat his ass.
Knifed
him, actually. Knifed him. I knifed him.
I think you're affecting the Betway odds.
Yeah, they better. Suddenly 26 to 1. If Scrawny can do it, then
Lost
Big are fine. Yeah. Oh, man. But listen, anti-eco all too easy. I'm no Verta Global, but I can tango.
You're a game shark, my friend. You're a game shark.
Let's see if Roy's
Yeah,
sneaky nature can pay off here.
Bags work again.
A real classic on Vertigo. It's one of my favorite plays, in fact. It's just one of those cheeky strategies that always seems to have impact in a game, at least one round. So there you have it. The first example comes early, just closes out versus those pistols as they tried to find some sort of success in round 2. But Big, as expected, have to forego the round and put all their eggs in this basket. Round 3. Big's coming in with plenty of AKs, and most importantly, that op on Searson. He has been a real piece to their success today.
If this guy had a YouTube channel with tutorials on opping, all I'm saying is I ding the notification bell. Okay, this guy is really friggin' good with the op, and he's so smart positionally. I would definitely listen to what he has to say. I thought Roy was going to push through that. That's a multi. Is there a flash to combine? He turned from something. I don't think he's actually going to do it. He's playing very respectfully now with a lot of tact, but the smoke is going to come up, and he'll have a target in front of him. Soon, Xantares will be his victim, but Searson, instant trade. Worthwhile here for the T's. They're fine with that.
Ooh, Shush at the bottom of B, though. Gonna give away a kill. Gonna give away the even 4v4. Tizian crawling through middle. This is a big play. He's gonna hold. We've been seeing more and more players kind of hold behind this pole or on the other side of it, just next to the ramp. It kind of gives you like 70% cover if somebody comes back to peek from elevator. But oh boy, Bubsky, you better run or tuck into the corner. Either way, it won't work because Keto runs through the fire. No issue. And goes ahead and cracks open that B site. And now you'll see the strength of Tizian's position. Anybody who comes crawling back into this should lose their head if they even try it. Seems like Big have gotten onto the board early, cracking through this CT side.
Yeah, they really hard pin the rotations. Mad Lions are smart enough to realize that this is a threat, and they want to gamble risk that it was going to be an A take to try to have at least more strength towards one part of the map, but not attempt for the rotation. Good play by them. Smart moves. And Big, yeah, they come out with a couple of favorable trades. The most important were the first two, of course, as they normally are, but one where the trade down the lower ramp was great from Searson. And then after that, it elicited a push because I think the CTs felt slightly disfavored at that point and wanted to try to make up ground elsewhere. But Big did a great job in their default of staying spread out, but making it seem like they were heavily focused on the A ramp. Meanwhile, they were worried about mid as well.
This is what kicked it off for Roy, but Searson, just a smidgen of a gap. And then Keto not only getting the first kill through the smoke, but just charging straight through Bubsky's thin line of defense. You could really smell the desperation on that Molotov when he saw 3 people peek. But luckily for Mad Lions, they're not bottomed out economically. They invest in and have a nice, strong buy. Sure, they're missing some nades for Bubsky and Asilian, but so be it. It's not a write-off, that's for sure.
Looks like 2 per site right now. And someone holding on towards mid. They're kind of using Searson as like a train T-side opper, sitting in the T connector, waiting for a small margin of error for the CTs if they try to get aggressive. If not, we'll find out what Big's plan is ultimately. I am very curious where this goes if it ends up 5v5 into the later portion of the clock. Tabson now moving forward. Again, always this threat of the sandbags. Roy could get called at any time. He knows this. So that's why he keeps the smoke in hand.
They're getting ever closer. We already saw the sandbags have impact, but this time it's going to get mollied out. So Roy has to extinguish the threat, but being so low on HP, I like that he actually jumps up onto the railing. Tries to get a little bit of a vertical angle. Still not going to cost him, or rather, not going to help him. It does cost him. He is sent sailing down 70 or so floors.
Bomb in a really awkward spot here. It's not going to be easy to recover. It's not coming up the ramp as well. They don't have the position to like take it and bring it back to B. And 20 seconds left over. They've got to bully their way into the site.
Keto's close enough to do it, but misses that headshot.
No.
Tizian, big flank. 8 seconds. They fall flat.
Did
That's
Keto,
a weird
didn't
one.
he just get that kill?
No, he didn't.
Oh, okay.
Keto on the player behind blue box, boosting?
Yeah, I thought he got the
Nope.
kill and traded. Okay.
I don't think so. Maybe my eyes deceived me.
Oh, you did.
You are right. Okay.
Yeah, there's just one person below. Yeah. Also,
So what am I talking about?
It comes somewhat close, but again, you know, there's the CTs are favored just because they know it has to be A. One of the players is on the A ramp. Another one has to collect the bomb too close to the site to go back, and so yeah, small thing, but I think the guy, the bomb carrier, smelt an opportunity to try to go for a kill, so it's hard to fault him for maybe getting the play that wins the round, but when he loses it, they also lose an option.
Tough one to swallow. At least they can try and rebound here. Aggressive decision to buy with this much. Keep some cash in the coffers of Searson, ensuring that the op returns to play sooner rather than later, but they are very much committing here to the utility on A. Very good job at flushing Shush out of his position. Searson gonna take some damage, but moves closer to the site, and it looks like that bomb plants in. So a retake attempt for Mad Lions in a 5v5. It helps that Roy connects one through the smoke before they have to get this rolling, but now they're bet by more smokes. It's going to create an awkward position, but as long as they can get past that front wall and not be skewered from short, they should be in a good position to contest at the very least. Roy has still not found anybody.
Yeah.
He's walking in, trade back and forth. Bubsky's the one who's making the most weight. Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
They didn't have a good enough angle. It was a good smoke from Mad Lions. It was on the default box, which kind of looked like they didn't know exactly where the bomb was planted. They killed the guy who put the bomb down. I think all Roy needed to do there, I mean, as long as he maintained control of that side, he was fine. And yeah, this just delays long enough, and they just had enough bodies to put on top of it. There was no chance for the T's to, spray him down unless he got lucky through the smoke. So Mad Lions basically said, hey, you got to come flying at us to try to win this. If you don't, we'll win. Observer's Dystopia. This is the 5th time Vertigo has been played in the EU Masters. More than any other map. No overpass so far. And there was a chance for overpass in this very series.
True. A likely chance for overpass, I'd say.
Wait.
What?
Did we not see overpass?
In North America.
Oh, North America. I see. True. Okay.
Elliot specified EU.
Yeah, he doesn't watch that part of the show. We get it. European elitism.
Hey, look at this. Big aggressive push down B. Nets the trade frag, 4v4, early info. I like the tempo that's being set in some of these rounds, really fying and fighting for control all over the map. This next duel unfolds over towards mid, and here we have it. That's the X factor. Searson's op yet again connecting to a target on A, taking that 3v2. It's going to be disturbed by the utility somewhat, but still hopeful that he can land this shot. He keeps his eyes up and waits. Meanwhile, Xanteras and Tizian playing down in connector. They've got the CTs second guessing everything, and the options still remain because, man, there's a minute on the clock.
I feel like that's what Xanteras should call his subs. Xantarians. Welcome to the Xantarians. I hope you enjoy your steer. Thank you so much for the prime. Welcome
We
to
are
the Xantarians. Together we Xantarian. No, it's not a verb. Okay. Searson's got a great angle to hold defend on the plant, and they're probably going to peek right into him. Oh my god, he thought that A-car was going to go wider than that. A-car seemed to be very confident about exactly where he'd be standing, and suddenly this round has been brought back from the depths. Seriously, if he stays alive, that's over. But now it's like a legitimately decent chance on the retake. Problem is, they've got kits, but they only have a single flash.
And they've just used it to get out from CT, so at least they find a little footing towards the site, but they'll have nothing to engage in fights once they round those ramp corners. Shush to tap the bomb, and you'd think that Big aren't going to let that slip past a second time, so here comes the peek, the lineup, and the spray down from Tizian. 3 frags for him this round. Big grabbing a second on the board, and more importantly, pushing Mad Lions into the economic dumps.
True. Just like that with this one important round. A couple of key pushes that just do not work out too well. Maybe Big's new focus towards mid helps out a ton. Not sure if the kills were shown in order, but if they were, then someone comes through flying through a smoke in the 5v5 on the B push. So maybe a small mistake there from Mad Lions. But once again, it could have been an opportunity that seemed to be there that maybe truly wasn't, or a flash that didn't go deep enough. But either way, a key player lost, and it feels like, that really just activates all of the other aggressive pushes that don't work out too well when the 5v4 goes off.
And speaking of activating pushes, that's what happens here. We have a Molotov deep to try and flush Asilian out of the ladder room as he aggressively got there early, but it actually catches A-Core fishing for a frag. Luckily for Mad Lions, Roy's got himself a deadly deagle, connects the headshot as they're playing around with the idea of a boost, and this is going to call to action the rest of Mad Lions. They rotate over to the A site, where in fact all of Big are.
They're leaving now. Yeah, they were just actually so congregated and waiting, and probably should continue to gamble, but it looks like, Roy just wants to pick that up. I don't know if he made a step, but it's not going to be a surprise if there's someone there. Once the smoke comes down, Roy hasn't seen a whole lot, and the rotates have already come out. They're going to see now. It's definitely a full execute, and it'll basically come down to see if Roy can get a hold.
Gets caught on the edge of the smoke there, so Roy loses his closest teammate. Still 2 to rotate over, but poor Roy, I mean, he's taken a lot of damage in the process here. Remember, that deagle is what opened it all up. Had to risk his life for the AK, and now we'll have to fathom a save. There was a world where, because he was still on the site and because the T's were moving in, he could have been the one-man army, but I feel like losing Bubsky definitely didn't help, and having the other 2 CTs go check that B site during the time of silence Big created doesn't enable the retake attempt. So they let this one slide, and Big, as expected, will take a 3rd round. The lead cut to just 1.
I think it's a very sensible round from both teams. Mad Lions take a risk on low information, Big press their advantage of being able to sit on the A ramp, knowing they're going up against pistols, and they wait long enough that they influence Mad Lions into making a gamble towards the other site, as opposed to just sticking around to make it seem like they went back. So, you know, that's I think there are merits to the way both of them played, and I'm not surprised Big ended up closing it out. Roy saving the AK is a small victory. They'll be able to use it on this round with the 3 sets of half armor that they have to use, but it's full nade kits for everybody on Big, and Searson, of course, on the off as well, looking for kills. Searson, he takes a spot of damage, but he's got a teammate there to back him up, and Shush gets silenced.
Molly and a shot. Not too much commitment here from Keto, just showing a little presence. See how many CTs come to the call of action. Well, Roy does. First and foremost on the AK. It's a big pickup. It's cost a lot of health here for Mad Lions, and Big, well, they are very much grouped. A couple of lucky deagle shots, and maybe the AK finishes them all off, but I mean, they don't have to commit here. They just take that longer range of engagement, flex the weapons versus pistols, welcome Astillion into the peak, flush the man off the back of the bomb site. They're still wary of that AK, but they know it's here, and now it has been dealt with. Poor old A-Core, 12 HP and a USP. You know he's not destined much longer. So there we have it, folks. It's all tied up. Big finding their 4th round and keeping this even early.
Yeah, they are a good matchup in this sense. The early rounds seem to always get split. There's adjustments from both sides in different maps, and it's still very unclear as to who's going to win Vertigo. I will say, I think Mad Lions definitely have a lot going for them if they don't play too aggressively. So if this stays into 5v5, 40 seconds in, it looks like Mad Lions have a very good setup for that. But so far, Big have been manufacturing opening kills over and over again. This round's no different.
Molly up and over. Cillian decides to move forward, and he's not alone. Good call by Tizian here to disengage, because you can very clearly see those CTs fishing for a frag. And all the while, pulling them into middle, magnetizing his presence, has all of a sudden enabled Big to get this bomb down on B for free. Huge play from Tizian. I mean, you talk about silent damage coming from grenades at times and wall bangs and whatnot, but that was just like a silent round win. He scooped him into mid, and then dropped the bombs on him over on B.
Yeah, he's drawing time off the clock, shuffling the positioning, allowing his teammates to catch the audibles at mid of all the footsteps, and the round is won on positioning almost alone. But it's those first 2 kills that open up the first bomb site. And once again, I think it's Bubsky to get aggressive into the B site, which is somewhat called for. We know now, it's really hard to hold in the site, so it's no surprise they try to do this. I think there might have been an amazing flashbang there from Tabson to catch them off on timing to open up that round in the first place. So it could have been that. But this is a scary situation for Mad Lions. They want to go aggressive on B. They've gotten stopped twice. Both those rounds they've lost. And every time Big get the opening kill, doing a great job of closing out the round to follow and doing it cleanly. So, and not having very low numbers afterwards. We can see 2 players, 8,000. Nerf Breach. Keto has more enemies flashed than Mad Lions.
Both Breach and Keto, therefore underrated.
Yeah, he freaking
I
Breach,
can
man.
feel. Yeah, I could just feel your disappointment that's coming across. We'll bite our tongue. Don't worry, the beta's closed.
True.
And the full release is coming, just like Source 2, Any day now.
Yeah.
Any day now.
But apparently we're not supposed to be excited about it, and there's really no point, and everyone's freaking out. None of you know anything, so shut up.
Yeah, there you go, dude. Kick the beehive. That's a good idea. Ooh, a little bit of timing. Keto's going to want to use some utility up the stairs, but hey, he's going to have to be cautious. We've got Shush already down deep. That's going to be a duel that unfolds to the favor of the CTs. All the while, Big playing for mid. Big time. 3 players here. Santera's solo deep A. And to be fair, Mad Lions do have a boost over on that side of the map, so we don't really have to keep an eye on it. We know that they are safe from his crosshair. It's really middle that Big could force the issue with. Acor, I like this passive angle.
They have absolutely no incentive to move at all. They just want to wait. Let's see if they lay in the opportunities. Actually taps into to be collateral damage. I think the shot was, a little bit delayed on the reaction. Because it was so tight of an angle, but it's tabs into dying anyways. It's good enough.
Dangerous peek from Bubsky. Good thing for Shush that he can at least try and close off that construction hole, but it leaves Xanterra's 1v2. He's got to move forward and get back that bomb. It's on the other side of middle. So unfortunate turn of events here for Big. Unless Xanterra's has himself some real crisp headshots, but no, sir. Acor again, patient angle. I think there is a world that round where after Acor gets the first pick and calls that a second player's cross to old toolbox, we saw Bubsky peek into middle to try and lend a helping hand. This right here, if he doesn't die there, he could have also been tucked. Then I feel like we really have Big struggling to find any more footing. The play still unfolds to the favor of Mad Lions because the B site player had his head on a swivel. That was huge, but it worked. So I'm not going to linger on it. Just be cautious of that.
That's fair. That's fair. Specifically, Searson is holding that angle for somebody else to peek. He's relying on his teammates to get the initial point of contact, and then he's trying to make sure nobody else dies from somebody else in the crossfire, because you're always trying to suss out crossfires on the CT side. So totally agree with that sentiment. And maybe next time he won't make that peak happen. Bubsky's definitely been losing his opening fights in a few of these rounds, and it's been important. They're, fortunately for Mad Lions, Acor gets the second player who peaks, but if he doesn't, then Big technically will start off that round 5v4 with mid control.
Acor's really hot. Just hops his way into short and slays Big down there at the bottom of the ramp. Follow-up kill versus Xanterra's is too easy. That's the bomb carrier on top of it. So I feel like the rest of Big are going to have to be struggling now to try and find some sort of an opening anywhere on the map even. At this point in the round with this much time, they'll just take any kill anywhere and then try to play off of the adjustment. Bubsky nearly falls to his death there. Be careful, my friend. It's a long way down. Oh. Oh.
It's cool to see that Acor, who's got the 2 kills of the round so far, and that's actually a Cillian to try to make sure that they can't cross into mid. That's a very worthwhile trade to take. There was an assistance of a flash there. They got some information off of that, and they maintained a 4v2. Keto walks up. Tizian's making noise on B. The bomb is definitely staged up towards A. Keto getting a kill, but traded is not that good. But it's cool to see that Acor can go from a despondent performance in map 2 to an inspirited performance in map 3 within the matter of 10 minutes, right? We didn't even have that much of a break, and it's really just these angles are working out well for him. He's hitting flicks as well that are just going well. And on Mirage in the first place, he did good on he did good too. And I think there was some positional things that needed to be fixed from him on Nuke when it came to holding outside or covering things for his teammates. So there may be specifically positional work that needed to be fixed. And I don't think it's like him having an off day. It might be just the maps specifically that are either holding him back or making him look great. It's a good kill.
Roy was giving me anxiety there, man. Trying to peek around the sandbags to get down middle. He was being held by a player, boosted behind boxes, and then the walk up is what caught him. You saw him try to get back as quick as he could. Now, I mean, if there's any silver lining in losing the 5th player here, Mad Lions, they haven't lost the gun. Searson's arm's not quite long enough, but he's really going to stretch for that A1S, and doing so, he dies to a Cillian. So they lose the man advantage, and they never get that M4, but they do start transitioning pretty quickly over to the B site. Shush with the A1S almost lining up bodies, doing great damage, but Tabson's AK prevails versus the first. Bubsky, deep angle. He's going to fire off and drop that rifle. Now the bomb carrier hit from behind, and they are pinched upon. Mad Lions, 7 rounds to 5.
Doing much better at adapting and focusing down on mid, tightening up a little bit more on these opening kills. And even if they are giving up an opening kill, they're not allowing it to happen too quickly into a round, which I think is also a big problem, because sometimes a default can just net you so many frags if you let an opening kill go to the T's. Now Tizian holding a good angle here on the push towards mid. They once again lose a frag really, really quickly. And this is kind of what I was talking about. So we'll see if it has an impact. Shush finds one. Don't know where it happened, but they've still also in parallel worked on this A ramp push and end up killing Roy, who I think is encouraged to stick around a little bit to try to make up ground.
He's been that far extension for Mad Lions around ramp. Wall of smoke will block them entirely off. Searson's again going to go for the corner plant. Whoa, grenade does great damage. Pre-update, that does 2.
That does 2 damage pre-update. Yeah.
45. Wow. A-core. That's a bit of a robbery. Peeling Tizian off of the back there, now exposing the flank for Big. It detracts from their ability to hold forward on the site, where the other 2 players for Mad Lions are most certainly moving in from. In fact, one started to go over towards short, and Xanteras, he's kind of exposed to this. His barrel could be sticking out. It's still smoke for the moment, but he's going to have to be cautious of the timing. Here it comes. Shush vests him, and now what's left here from the T's is going to be pinched. Searson can't stop bomb. Mad Lions leading by 3.
Wow. Yeah, I think, you nailed it right there. If that kill oftentimes on these retakes is the most important one, Xanteras just had nobody, was not even worried about it. No one was watching. There's a quickie.
Yeah. I didn't even feel it.
Yeah, it wasn't a no-ski, but it was a quickie.
All for it. Listen up. We've got another buy-in from Big. Just a little curb purchase here. Still enthusiastic with what they have. Tech 9s, P250, double Deegs, utility across the board. If they find an opening, they could really follow forward with it. Just 1 or 2 primary weapons would be a cherry on top in this situation. A-core has to make sure he doesn't extend too far. There it is. Bubsky dies in middle. Excellent Tech 9 tap. Roy has been bullied on this bomb site the last 3 rounds, and only 8 damage off the frag. But the follow-up from Keto gets it done. So that mid pick starts it off. They shave one off A. A-core wants to flirt with the idea of a repeat, and he lands it, but he's going to get chased down by Xanteras. He was real close, real up front, and this would be huge for Big. They'd be within 2 rounds off of the back of a half-buy. Astillion to the top rope, denied anything more, and they know exactly where Shush is at. They're charged down. 2 headshots through smoke from Xanteras Tech 9. He gets a 3K with the sidearm. Excellently done. And look, Coke Zero.
That's the secret. That's absolutely the secret. That and Monster Energy, of course.
It's not a meme. There's truth to it.
Yeah, I think so. But I think a couple of individual things here. When we're looking at Roy, I feel like there's a bit of indecision when it comes to knowing what he needs to focus on and what he wants to focus on.
Ouch.
And I think that's
you miss it.
Yeah, the round's like freaking half's almost over. I want to talk about that, but
what was your point, Mohan? Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
For you, man.
Talk
This one comes to a really quick close. Yeah. We'll have to reflect on this over the break, folks, but we will be back with that second half. I love it. A series that's been back and forth, exchanging maps, and after these first 15, we are as close as can be.
Wasn't looking for love tonight. Wasn't looking for love tonight. Wasn't looking for love. Wasn't, yeah. I mean, wasn't looking for love. Wasn't, yeah. Don't tell me no secrets we don't understand. We deal with the answers when we don't have a plan. Nobody gave me a lesson in love. Every day searching 'cause we never had enough. I was lost until I saw your face tonight. Standing on the outside, drawn into your paradise. Wasn't looking for love understand. Don't understand. Don't understand.
Welcome back, my friends. It's Mad
Thank you.
Lions and I wasn't talking to you.
Oh, man.
Talking to everybody else who's joined us here for DreamHack Masters Spring 2020, the last EU match of the day, the last map and last half on top of it all. We've gotten a very close affair between Mad Lions and Big. It was an interesting matchup to call from the get-go, and they've had us scratching our heads. So this is it. This is all we have left from them. Shush and Acor at the top of the scoreboard for the side of Mad Lions, and Tizian and Keto putting on a showing for Big. Second pistol and a grenade does so much damage already, but they're not going to let that stop them from committing tabs in with the double tap, 3-piece, and even more perhaps on the cards as Acor is just on the other side of the smoke. That little bit of verticality catches him off guard. I like it. Acor getting eyes into the bomb site. It's still a difficult 2v5 to fight back from. With Searson on their backline, it goes from bad to worse. He's just going to tap the head of a Cillian, and that's over.
Yeah, he played that like he was opping. You see, I just walked out, barely moved his crosshair. Wonderful. Man, and Tabsin, he's got the one taps on tap, baby. This guy doesn't stop. Oh, just wonderful. He's showing us the most important pistoling now, because now we're in the last pistol round of the series, and it's 8-8. I'm glad that Big won that round to tie it up. Let's see who's gonna win. I really don't know. I really don't know who's gonna win.
Too close to call, but this one's pretty straightforward. Straight up aggression and then some. Mad Lion's gonna try to plant. He just dodges the shot. He's got the Glock out, and he has no chance in hell. Thomas is picked back up, and I mean, with like a 8 or 9 man clash there on the A site, we knew it was gonna be fireworks. Mad Lion's getting it over quick. I respect that. Probably got something else to do. Point being, they've transitioned into the AKs, and now the game gets real interesting.
I'm happy to see for the CTs, it's nice for them to get like a lot of the MP9 kills despite losing a couple of players. So no big loss there. And now I'm just trying to figure out what the strategy is. Obviously, Op going into a very standard position, but it's a hard one to deal with despite that. They need to be spamming through the yellow side of the tarp, and oh my god.
They chase him though. Huge aggression from Cillian, doubling down on Searson. The offer of short tries to pull an Acor. Instead, he gets denied, but Tizian is here to take the place of the corpse, and he too has faltered. A 3-piece from Cillian has single-handedly dismantled this A-site defense for now. The other two CTs try to rotate over, and Tabson is very much inside of the bomb site. There's flashbangs popping off, a plant attempt to be made. Tabson and Keto denying this. And now Bubsky's flank becomes the most important part of the round because he gets it back into the clutch. Tabson, can he do this? He has to whip back around. The second player scored sandbags, and the upgrade to the AK could be huge. Acor's on his op, and Tabson's gonna let this round breathe.
That's nuts. He's actually instantly making this giant rotation. Bomb on site, knowing Acor is left over. This might be the smartest thing that he could do. Literally, Acor is not planning this bomb. Plus, he can't fall back now for the rotate, and Tabson can flank in the 1v1. I would say no chance he loses this. But Acor, obviously scoping this out, not hearing a single thing, is going to wonder if that kind of rotation had been made. But he's not pushing through into B and now doesn't have the option to. We'll find out where he plants the bomb, how confident he is about where Tabson is.
Oh, it's exposed, but he's still very much tunnel vision forward. Tabson just finding the time to come around.
Glorious, man. That was awesome.
He had won that clutch 30 seconds ago.
He did, exactly. And you know what? You look at how close Acor was to getting into a position where suddenly the flank is irrelevant. If Tabson doesn't move as soon as he throws his first bit of utility and starts walking on that entire flank, Acor is going to get around to a hole and then flank the A ramp and then maybe even flank Tabson. So that level of decisiveness, that quick decision making from Tabson is what wins here. And this is also a 2v4 in total.
Man, it's so smooth. He even slides in with the headshot. Barely stops moving. Awesome stuff there from Tabson. Oh, run boost. Somebody was just thrown over towards short B. They made it. Gravity doesn't win today. But hey, there's still a chance for these T's. I think Big are going to be happy that they weren't caught off guard by that. Those are always fun.
Yeah.
You know, contrast that to like, okay, oh yeah, you played Dust 2. What do you get off the spawn? You can watch players cross. That's no fun. What do you get in the spawn of Vertigo? Run boosts around the outside of buildings. This is Counter-Strike 2020.
That's true. It's Counter-Strike with heights. We are at, yeah, Dust 2's been taking L's for the past year, so... And clearly, all the maps are moving more towards this vertical stacking of angles, sites. They just want to try to make the observer's life as hard as possible. That's Valve's MO as of late. But we can see it adds for some interesting levels of gameplay. Keto, oh, nice swing. Gets the guy in the back.
Yep, Bastillion back into the cover and re-peeks to clear Tabson. Good decision on his part, between him and Acor combining to deny that. Tabson was stretched a little too thin, and here comes Bubsky back around on the flank. Man, he has done great work lurking through middle. We saw this previously over at that A site, but Tizian looks to lock it down. He does still have a teammate until I mention him. Poor Xanterra caught on the lurk. Tizian's position is known, and so is the bomb planter. So he's going to have to figure out where exactly Acor's gotten off to and how the hell he isolates these 1v1s. That's a really good first angle, but he peeks into the second and has his head ripped clean off. Mad Lions keeping it within one, but it's still big on double digits alone.
Highlight emphasis on Bubsky's flank, of course, as you pointed out. I think that is the most important thing there. Two teammates low in the site. Two holding, certainly would have got one on the cross if he didn't get that first kill. And honestly, I'm not mad at him for just rushing it and shooting the first guy down. Maybe he could have fell back after that and made sure Tizian wouldn't have the chance to trade, but they were low on time. They needed to get the bomb plant and they had the man advantage with that frag. So, you know, one in the pocket kind of thing. So now we've got the USP round here from Big. Mad Lions look to tie up. And they have started to drop to beneath the floorboard. Shush is going to be here trying to rack up the ADR. Let's see how many he can get. 1, 2, 3, and 4. He's doing the work.
Look at that dog pile of dead bodies.
Delicious. A sushi.
A sushi ace. That's what that was, friends. Quick anti-eco moves us along. So we are 20 rounds deep on the third map of this match, and it is still too close to call. Another buyback up from Big keeps things even. Oh, I spoke too soon. A little half buy. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I don't know. They full save, so they just did some quick math. I saw their math fail and fall on his face on Mirage, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is a bad move, but it seems like it's okay. Searson's got enough for the op next round. They'll have the full kits to work with. Definitely don't want a full save, so we'll see. You know, we saw what you can do on CT side with a plan on an eco round from Team Liquid yesterday. And that's win the round, make it look convincing. So here it's more of like take a few fights and hope the utility can come in and help, but no real serious plan about how to bait them into a site or win the round in post plan.
No booby trap being composed here from Big, just very much a spread around the map and hope for some sort of opening. They didn't prioritize any level of aggression or anything along those lines. So we move through that round as an anomaly, and number 22 comes up quick. This time, we get what we're all looking for. It is guns aplenty. Op back on Searson. He's had an incredible impact across this series. See if he can keep this one up. They're going to need him. They need something because they do have Mad Lions surpassing them into the lead. chances getting thin.
The investigation on the A ramp. Every single time you're on the CT side, always dangerous, always scary. As for the T's, they move up to B. Yeah, and B site has they've retreated into the site. I don't know who's playing in mid right now. Keto, nade lands at his feet like a present, but it's really not. And there's no T's that have gone to try to split towards mid control just yet. But it's all the T's have actually started to drift back towards A. Oh, Boosted try to get a kill, but now that they've cut silence, that step's been heard. Not sure how much this has netted them.
They're getting ever closer. Good softening bit of damage done by the bank nade.
Makes them all headshotable by the M4.
May help Searson. Ooh, another one.
Unconfirmed damage starts to rack up.
30 seconds left here. Searson, who came into the map at a positive 26 spread, is almost dead. Gets back away after the first shot, but more importantly, he connects it, and the second too. Ready for the third. He's gonna fall, but Xanteras and Tabson stand tall. 4 survivors there for Big. That hold goes off perfectly.
Yeah, it's kind of like on train. If you oversell a fake to try to pull B rotators, you can only get a maximum of 1 person left on the site. Therefore, it's not worth it to try to expend too much utility on other parts of the map because players rotate out early, but they'll almost never leave completely. And I think that's kind of what we had on the A site. You know, even though Mad Lions did a bunch of things at B site to make it seem like they could attack it, there were still 2 over towards A, and if it's going to be a B-side attack, there's still going to be a mid player to hold on to that. So I don't think they accomplished a lot by trying to work that part of the map that early without also keeping some map control on A to try to force a lurk or get a kill. But not getting that opening kill, I think, is what made them the most nervous about hitting B straight on, even though I think from our perspective, that was probably the slightly better site to take. So they'd have a bit more time and they'd already have some map control.
We'll see if they try to force the issue at B next time around, if they can get that early posturing.
Oh my god.
A-Core cracking it open. Down goes Searson. He's trying to hold a more aggressive line down A, and it doesn't go his way. Tizian fired off of construction. He's got flashbangs primed. And you know that Bubsky, he's just drooling at the idea of another top mid push. Multiple rounds, he's created that space. And he does it really silently. That's the fun part about it. You know, it's not just as though he gets through and then Big have to deal with it and lose out a fair duel. He is constantly catching them by surprise.
Spinning image in terms of strategy to the last round. They're going back to the A site, but this time with a kill to their name. Not only a kill, Searson, who's locking down A with the op. This opens up options. As we can see, they're taking new paths into the A site to start things off, not simply coming up the ramp on the A ramp.
Bomb's already out in the hands of Vasilian. He goes for the fake plant, tries to get them jumping on, and it all works. A wild play to make, but hey, he's not punished for it. Tabson, speaking of not being punished, just gets eyes up quickly over the boxes. Despite a couple of these T's being on the back line, nobody cuts him down for it, but A-Core's most certainly ready for another. Try that again. He dares you. Peeks around, but may have just caught the back end of that short peek. Will scope in time to find the elevator. Commitment. Here's Tabson back into the mix with that M4A1S and another headshot, this time versus the Opper. So the bombs ticking is gonna be the biggest issue. Astillion swings wide, gets the first diffuser off and tucks back in. There's just no time. Tabson, excellent effort, a valiant run. He picks them all up and he too done as he falls down.
Yeah, everyone dies that favors Mad Lions. Bomb plant to their name, lots of money left in the bank, and 5 kills is still nice. No round 1, but this was good pragmatic counter-strike here by Mad Lions to go for the same site exec, but to do it off of the opening kill and specifically off of getting Searson. That allowed them to wrap way more quickly, not get 2 guys killed by an op, and perform the same site exec that even if Big know it's coming, it's still hard to stop. Oh, wow. see you in another dimension, my friend.
Bubsky's going to feel that one until tomorrow. But all the while, I love Mad Lion's decision making here. Screw flirting around. Don't bother trying to go and pick up those pieces. Just move headstrong, commitment, and it works. The numbers game into the B site. They find it for free. They know that the threat looms near, with Searson having already kind of revealed himself, but poor guy is stuck. I mean, either you make the jump around the building or you double back blindly through smoke. And if you wait, well, that's going to fade. And Roy is favored for it. But hey, listen, he gives him another smoke. He gives Searson another chance to leave. These CTs have been completely countered by the utility. It cost Mad Lions nothing to get into the site, and then they just followed up smoke after smoke in order to confirm the round win. If they want to exit, they're going to have to go through a smoke of their own, and somebody does go to double back onto bomb, making sure it explodes in the end. That is it, 13-11, as Mad Lions T side is starting to run away.
Hey, it's definitely a lot better. I think there's still a chance that Big can win. A lot rests on this opening kill. We've seen it be a consistent theme, especially in this match with the team who ends up... The thing is, and this is more of a knock on the team who was dropping the opening kill, because they're just not doing a good job of beating the statistic of winning the 5v4 at least once in a while. Instead, it feels like when someone gets an opening kill, they also give up the next kill, they also give up the next kill, and the round's not even close. So I'd like to see some more resilience from these rosters in trying to bring back rounds as opposed to making a bad option try to work by forcing their hand. And now Mad Lions are in that position. So last round worked so well because A-Core was able to take out Searson. This time Searson is the one that comes out ahead. What's the response from Mad Lions? Hopefully it's not another A-take that is made because they don't know what else to do. Good to see them working on mid control this time around.
Yeah, Bubsky's primed. Boosted on boxes. Gonna refurbish the smoke there. And he buys his time. Just wait. Trying to find a gnarly smoke spam. He's not far off the mark, so I'd be keeping my head tucked if I was the CT towards spawn. We hit that 50-second mark, and Mad Lion's still a bit indecisive, but you see them working towards the B stairs, so you know that they're getting closer to pulling the trigger here. It's going to rely on a crisp headshot, a quick entry, something similar to what they had last round, except they're versus the guns, and Keto finds timing. Just as Roy was trying to jump upwards, not making his job any easier, Tizian's looking to lock Bubsky out of middle so that they can't even pinch this B site. But Asilian, he's the only player on the kill feed here for Mad Lions, 7 health, and he's denied through smoke. Big still within 1, 13 rounds to 12.
They run a risk of obviously trying to put the Alpers head-to-head. It just seems like the brand of Counter-Strike that most teams are willing to take part in on Vertigo. It's those A-ramp duels with the two Alpers. But again, they're risking a lot by just trying to run that back over and over again, especially when Searson's like not playing badly and is really a talented Alper, you know, just as talented as A-Core. A-Core is doing well, though. So, you know, there's an argument for him to be like, yeah, I'm down to take this fight again. I know what he's going to do. I like that Bubsky tries to rush it at mid to try to help his teammates because that was the most important thing. Clearly, he was being toyed with on that passive angle, but if he were to get into heaven, it'd be hard to stop him from there, and then they maybe would have had a chance. Either way, I think Mad Lions approaching the B side on that split in the 4v5 is a much smarter option than trying to go back to that like A side take with a significant disadvantage.
They won't have everything they'd hoped for. Very light on the buy here, Mad Lions. Roy, the best equipped with that armored Tech 9. Searson trying to find line of sight past the smoke. Got to be cautious that he doesn't get run down by the pistol arrows, but that's a fantastic grenade to soften them all up. And there's going to be another banked by Xantares. Oh, baby. Blows them to smithereens, and they walk right into the line of fire. It's a melting pot of Mad Lions. Big tying things up.
It's a much closer affair. And you know what? Connor, let me ask you, when you see the op come out towards A site, do you have more faith they're going to get opt, or do you have more faith that they're going to find a kill?
I have more faith, I would say, in them finding a kill. I think that the CTs do have a strong stance when they either peek that back shelf or really underneath that crane. I think there is a favorable advantage for the CTs at the very start. It's when they start sticking around a bit, like right now, Searson potentially going for the repeat. This is when I think it's dangerous.
Look at A-Core.
All for it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that too. We saw both Acor and Searson take their attention to the same angle here on their CT sides. They love to peek down here to try to pick off the riflers, which is obviously the best case situation. Going head to head with an op is always dangerous, especially with smokes and flashes in the way. But this time around, Searson's actually played it quite passive. Now that Mad Lions have taken a stance on A and they've shied Searson away from trying to fight, which is, to contrast, something that Kenny S would never do. He'd continue to fight until he won. What does this mean? Can Mad Lions actually win from this position? It's definitely a better situation than losing the kill or spending too much of the early round over on the other side of the map, only to come back here.
Some utility being thrown both ways. 3 CTs within the site. Acor trying to flirt his way up the ramp, but Astillion off of the extinguished mollies takes a jumping MP9 shot to the head. That's a painful 9mm, and Acor still unable to find any kind of a pick off the site. Searson holds him honest. I love the calculated aggression there from Big, and I love this even more. Keto, he's wrapped into their play. Roy, blindsided, and Acor all the while finally finds footing on the A site, but he has nothing more to do. With 15 seconds and the bomb gone, this is Big one step closer to taking the series. 14 rounds secured. I love it. The fact that they got into the faces of Mad Lions on short, tried to convince them back to B at the last second, and they were even ready for that. Just a big round across the board.
Yeah, it kind of felt like you have this much leash. You get past this line, we tug on the leash. And they decided to take their aggression into that corner while they're in the middle of pressing W with the assistance of flashes as well. And it's obviously the saltiest way to die, an MP9 to a rifle. And then Searson, he's got an easy job. He doesn't risk dying there, so they play it a bit safer. And Mad Lions, when their initial plan doesn't work out, they don't seem to be able to win the round. There, they try to go B after that. Doesn't even come close to being successful. So I think Big have started to find a winning formula.
Agreed. A jumping MP9 starts that, and then a jumping flashbanged MP9 is what actually kicks it off. Incredible. Xanterra's running a risk, playing through that smoke. There are definitely bodies awaiting him on the other side, but they don't linger too long, and I like that. Acor's op, the only real piece of the puzzle for Mad Lions. These Tech 9s could try and flush out the CTs, really trudge headstrong into this site. But they're ready for it. You see the 3 members of Big prepared. Molly's doing so much damage, but oh boy, Searson, he's caught jumping. Acor's op does go down as Tabson gives cover over the shoulder of Xanterras, who then gets Sieged. But again, it is Tabson and Tabson and Tabson some more. The single difference maker here on the site until Tizian gets into position. He's sent soaring through the skies, and Astillion sent delving deep into the depths of which he came. He'll head over to the B site in desperation.
Yeah. Last chance here. They can defend against match point. It's a much better situation than he thought he'd be in, considering his team did have a mixture of rifles. A shoulder peek there to give him a kill. He really wants this before he puts the bomb down, but there's 2 players waiting for him as they listen to him fall back, and Big get match point.
Huge one for them to hold on to, because there was most certainly a world where Tabson's not able to manage all of this. We saw Acor's op posted, gets that first kill so quickly.
Great
Finds the
rotation,
player jumping in the back bomb site. And now Mad Lions are going to have to call their tac pause, figure this one out. I mean, even just in terms of calculation, they've got to figure out what the hell they can afford and how they're going to use the limited tools they end up with.
8 of Mad Lions' last 10 BO3s haven't gone to a third map, and they won all of those. And they won all of those.
Of course, take place on LAN. They won all of the 2-0s.
Mad Lanians. The thing is, though, after, only not playing any officials in the last month, this is when we saw at the beginning of the year. This is just what happens when a team takes a break, no matter how much they practice. Everyone had a freaking amazing boot camp. Some people are still losing, and oh my God, great run boost. Actually works out perfectly well.
You love to see it, but you also love to watch this. Tabson, the magic maker, 3 kills in what could be the final round of this match. Oh man, from the grave, he burns Bubsky to a crisp. And Acor, what are you made of? Unarmored Deagle match point. Tabson, who has been a consistency over at that A site, comes out of nowhere towards B, and the flank is what spells the victory for Big. 16-13 on Vertigo, an awesome series where we had both teams exchanging map picks and taking us the very distance on Vertigo. I mean, we were sat at an 11-11 a score, and there was no way to call this game.
Genuinely one hell of a series there by Big. Those CT sides look super impressive. The adaptations were fantastic. And Mad Lions seriously could not keep up on the T side, man. You got to give full credit to Big on this one. They earned it every inch.
Yeah, they fought for it. They fought for every one of those inches, but it was an impressive showing from both sides. I think this group actually has a lot of promise, so I'm super excited to see what more comes of this. Obviously, we've got Mad Lions, Big, Complexity, and Mouse Sports all locking horns. But hey, that's it for the EU coverage today. We've still got best of threes coming up once we shift over to North America. And of course, we still have our handy experts nearby. They'll see you after the break.
It came down to Vertigo, and it was a back and forth. But Big come out on top, and Tabson once again leading the charge. But he wouldn't have done it without his team around him, and it truly was a team performance from Big. They looked confident, they looked strong, and it was Mad Lions who surprised us with not picking Overpass when they had the choice and allowing it to go to Vertigo. It made us feel like they would have had something prepared, would have had something planned, but this time around they couldn't seal the deal, they couldn't get the job done. And I gotta say, we expect this kind of performance from Big, right? They can pull out the bag, but I think for Mad Lions, when they picked this in the first place, we were all thinking, okay, surely there's got to be a reason behind this.
Sure, Christine was right all along. You know, Mad Lions seeming a little bit rusty, dare I say it. I don't think they were playing that well, especially not on Vertigo, and Nuke was a disaster in its own. I think Big Clan is a team that is slowly but surely getting better. We talked about them being inconsistent, and I think that's still the case. But online, as of recently, they've been winning a lot of games, and this one against Mad Lions, that's a great result for Big Clan. So, I mean, overall, Mad Lions a little bit disappointing, but Christine, you're spot on. I think they're a bit rusty.
Yeah, definitely so. And you can absolutely see it. But man, we got to talk about Tabson. This dude, firstly, Searson was just a baller all series long, just hitting all of his shots, keeping Big within the matches, even on Mirage when things got sticky. But sprinkle some Tabson in those rounds. And then all of a sudden, you've got Big upsetting Mad Lions. I mean, it was just such a pleasure to watch just his decision making, working off of his teammates. That clutch on Vertigo towards A, just 200 IQing, outplaying the crap out of A-Core, making him look foolish. I mean, this is high caliber Counter-Strike, and I thoroughly enjoyed this series.
Well, I know who will have thoroughly enjoyed this series as well, though might be a little bit stressed out from it all. We got Toby on the line here. How are you doing, mate? It must have been quite a wild one for you to sit back and watch.
I didn't understand it properly, sorry.
No, I'm just saying it must have been a wild game for you to watch, very back and forth there.
Yeah, it was a wild game, but usually I'm really calm, so I just enjoyed it.
Hey, well, you walked away with the win, and it certainly was a big one. Were you surprised about their Vertigo pick on the decider over Overpass?
At that point, not, no. That they picked Vertigo above Overpass, but that Vertigo was still open surprised me. Like, I thought we thought maybe they veto it first, but that was a bit surprising.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
in the end,
yeah, it's not a secret that like coming into this matchup, for example, I made the comparison between Big and North being two teams that has a lot of potential, but we haven't really seen you guys being consistently performing at a high level. How far would you reckon you guys are at the moment from being the Big Clan that can go toe to toe against some of the best teams in the world? Like, how much longer do we need to wait for Big Clan to be a, dare I say, top international top team?
yeah, I think what your thought is true. Yeah, on the one hand, it's true. On the other, we showed like in the pro league that we can beat teams like Navi and Fnatic. But it's really we sometimes I think overall we are getting more consistent. Yeah, but we sometimes struggled against even weaker teams. So we definitely had the potential. And lately, I think we are trying to work on our communication, especially in these high pressure games. Yeah, I think that's where the consistency maybe. You can question that.
Sure.
But today we even showed like I saw some improvements. Yeah, I think we are on the right way, and I think we can beat this team soon on a consistent base, even better teams. It feels for me like it. You could also see it in the practice already the week before. We had insane practices. We were really happy. Gobby was watching as well all the practices, and there was not so much to say. So at the moment we are really confident, and I feel like we can beat this team soon on a consistent base. If you say it like that.
Speaking of communication, you could clearly see even on that nuke, there was a moment between Searson and Xantares where there was some confusion on whether they wanted to retake lobby or go outside. And you consistently see it on your side of things. What are you doing actively to help incorporate Xantares more and help him out with the communication and also the rest of your team?
We still try. Xantares still learns has German lessons every day. And he makes improvements, but still we communicate 100% English in practice. Sometimes 100% is not true, because if the Germans are still alive or if they play a spot, they talk German. But we are after this event, we want to go the step that we also try to practice in German sometimes, if it's possible, and we see how it goes, because he already understands a lot. It seems like, and that also makes us really happy that he's trying his best to talk German in the end. But besides that, we just always work in general on our communication.
I have one more question for you. We noticed on the desk that on Nuke specifically, you guys were struggling towards that under ladder area. There was a moment where Keto got caught off, Xantares got caught off on multiple occasions, and these were the rounds that Mad Lions were actually able to win on their T side of Nuke. Did you guys feel that at all? Is this a weakness under ladder that you guys have discussed before in the past, or was this just an off day on Nuke?
I don't want to talk too much about it, because I can say it has something to do with our game plan. I would say that we struggled there today.
Okay.
So I don't think it's a general. We worked on that for sure, and that's why we play more compact lately. We play more compact and have a better rotation. We play more on rotation than on control, and this is what I can say. But I think this game is a special game.
Well, it certainly
was a special game.
And a big win as well for you guys to take in your opening game. So thank you very much for your time there, Toby, and good luck in the future.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
It's good to learn some more finer details on the communication side of things there as well. So they still are not fully communicating in German, which I thought may have been something that was starting to happen because of how long Xantares had been in there. But it's stuff to be worked on, right? They've still got time to go.
And
yeah, definitely so. And sorry, Jacob, I just wanted to touch on the fact that he didn't want to reveal too much. And I respect that. You know, a lot of younger players, when we're interviewing them, they'll be very happy to divulge a lot of information, which we love. We love to hear all the details. But, you know, it makes sense to keep some things intact.
That phone's ringing once again. This time we're going to have Mad Lions Bubsky with us here. Obviously, a very tough loss to have there, and it was so close on the end in Vertigo. I got to ask straight off the bat have you guys obviously been practicing a lot of Vertigo to get yourselves ready for this, because you chose that over Overpass?
Yeah, after we played Flashpoint, we kind of decided that we would play all 7 maps, and we played a lot of Vertigo because we thought it would make sense to do in this group, and yeah, it didn't pay off this time.
All 7 maps as well. That's very hard to try and keep up with.
Yeah, it's definitely not the most normal thing teams do nowadays, but we think it's a good dynamic to have, so you're always able to play off your opponent's weakness.
You guys haven't played an official match since you won MIBR in the Flashpoint final. A lot of teams right now are complaining about the fact they don't have time to practice, and I guess it's quite the opposite for you guys. You've had plenty of time to practice. Do you miss playing those official games in order to stay intact, and do you feel that you are a little bit rusty today, or do you actually enjoy the fact that you now have a ton of time to practice?
I mean, I would definitely like the more balanced way of doing it. We kind of went all in on practice because there was no officials for us to play since we didn't get invited to the Rio thingy. It kind of comes as a shock when you start playing officials again. Like, the vibes is different, people are more instant and stuff like that. So it definitely caught us a bit off guard, and I would definitely have preferred to play it some officials before this.
Now, I noticed, Bubsky, on Nuke, you were playing a lot of the lurking style and very successful at it towards the outside, above the roof. I feel like this is a little bit different than what we generally see from you on T-side Nuke. Generally, you're more towards the door, more controlling of the lobby. Was this a counter to Big, or was this a new look for you and Nuke?
No, I think it's more that the meta kind of changed in Nuke. People outside, when you took like City Yard on Nuke, before they would always try to battle outside, but now people just push lobby. And if you stand in the door while there's like 4 guys coming at you in lobby, it's kind of bad. So it kind of changes depending on each team and how aggressive they are. But if you know they push lobby often, it's kind of bad to play in lobby when they know you're there, right?
You recently changed in-game leader, obviously from Hunting to Asilian. If you had to put a few words on what's the biggest difference between the two of them, what would that be?
One of them shoots some people and the other guy doesn't.
Okay. that's straightforward. I can see where it come from.
That was a very straight answer of that. Now, obviously, it was a tough loss to get off with on the starting here, but you guys can be a little bit warmed up, Bubsky. Are you still feeling confident off the back of your Flashpoint win? Did you just kind of need to get this first official out the way?
I think this was, I don't know. I don't think we lose confidence in ourselves in this game. We knew Big is a pretty underrated team in our opinion. They have a lot of firepower, and they came fresh in from some of officials, so we knew that they would be like very, very warm for this game, and they just caught us kind of off guard. But I don't think it's going to affect us in the future of the matches.
Well, we look forward to seeing the rest of those matches, mate. Thank you very much for your time. Honesty coming out of him there completely on that one, right? Yeah, he gave you the straight fire answer, Pip.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to argue against, right? But I was catching for something else, right? But we got a big fish regardless. It's all good.
I'm always loving a bit like that. Now, Pimp, you've been back up to your drawing board tricks once again, mate. So what are we looking at this time around? And make sure you don't break it, please.
Yes, I'll try not to break it this time around. It wasn't all sunshine for Big Clan in this game. We have a round right here where it's 10-8 for Big Clan. It's a very, very important moment in the game. As you can see right here, all players towards the B bomb side, and they're ready to go in here, right? And you can see Big Clan, they've actually read it pretty well. They have Taps, and they have Keto, and they have Tishian to deal with it. So if we play out the clip right here, you can see the execute come in, and we can fast forward a bit. We don't really need to see this. There's a lot of exchange back and forth. What ends up happening is that Mad Lance is winning out those duels, right? If you stop it right here, you now have a position where 2 players are on towards the B-bomb side. Bubsky, as Christine was talking about, is doing the lurk role. What's going to happen when we play out the clip is that he's going to flank around right here. Now, a little bit unawareness from the 2 Big Clan players, right? They're not even ready for the mid. Shantaris running, they can hear him, doesn't matter. Bubsky comes in, he gets 2 kills in the back, or kill in the back. We can switch point of view to Bubsky if we want to right here to see how it all transpired. What I want to say with this is that Big Clan, they were looking good on Vertigo. They were definitely looking, I would say, better than Mad Lance, but they did make mistakes, right? It wasn't as clean as it could have been. I think that was the case for the entirety of the game for Big Clan right here. They actually didn't play a great game of Counter-Strike, I would say, and I think Top B said it as well. It was like a weird game for them. I think Big Clan could have played much, much better had they eliminated the small mistakes they made. Potentially even could have won Mirage. So Big Clan winning despite not playing well, that's also a sign of strength. And I think they can take a lot away from this game, being very, I wouldn't necessarily say proud, but they can be happy the fact that they're able to win even when they're not playing up to the best.
And I'm happy to be proven wrong about Keto, who certainly at least stood up to the likes of Mad Lions in that game, right? And we were talking about Tabson as a heavy influence that he had, obviously, and Zontaras beforehand. But Keto, today, he impressed me, sir. Hats off to him. But it's time for us to get our way to a break and move over to North America. And the only one sat in North America is Potter herself. But she's not going to be here for this game. We're going to move you out, Potter. So we're going to say goodbye. Bye, Potter. We love you. We'll see you later. We'll see you tomorrow. But when we come back from a break, it's going to be time for MIBR to take on Chaos.